to Rakitic. Iniesta with a bit of a gap. Back heel Iniesta! Oh, what a goal!
How's it going, guys? My name is Alex.
Good evening.
And in today's video I'll be reviewing one of the most exciting Classic Legends that I pulled from the pack last week, and that was the pack where Konami was featuring 16 legends with crazy odds, and I was fortunate enough to pull 2 legends from 300 coins that I somehow saved within half a week that I had. It's Iniesta, actually, it's a Poggers. You can see that I trained my Andres Iniesta to 96 overall. He's playing as attacking midfielder for me, he's 95 overall. Basically, this is the card that you can see, and this is an amazing, extremely talented player that is actually still playing for a Japanese club called Vissel Kobe, but he's of course well known for playing for Barcelona and for playing for a Spain national team, where he scored this goal.
No, Torres can find him, it's stabbed away uncomfortably to Fabregas. Surely now, Spain have won the World Cup for the first time in history.
And of course, winning the World Cup in 2010 and winning multiple Champions League, winning multiple La Ligas with Barcelona, and being a part of that Pep Guardiola's tiki-taka team. Iniesta, Xavi and then Messi, of course, were instrumental to that passing sequence, all those triangles, and of course Iniesta was one of the orchestrators of the attacks and one of the masterminds of all the passing sequences and the dribbles through defenders. So definitely this card from a neutral standpoint. I for one am not necessarily a Barcelona fan, but I can of course respect a great player, and of course all the movement, all the animations replicate Iniesta playstyle. I don't know if that is because Iniesta himself personally took part in developing of pass gameplay, passing mechanics, or it's just because Konami is really looking to implement all the subtleties in order to make your experience from the game really authentic. So basically this card, if trained to the max, here are the stats of Andres Iniesta. He's not really high, so he'll not be winning all the aerials. He's kind of weak physically, so I'm not sure if playing him as center midfielder, if of course you have like 3 center midfielders or even 2 center midfielders, is the best option, unless you have someone to kind of really complement him in regards of being able to defend in physical strengths. So if you play him as center midfielder, he will not be winning a lot of physical battles, but he has great balance, and if trained to the max, he has great ball control, dribbling, tight possession, low pass. You can see all the stats on your screen. Lofted pass as well. I would say that lofted pass is one of the first, or low pass as well, are one of the first stats that Konami should give him 99, but still they gave him 94. It's all good. Finishing only 84. He wasn't really well known for his finishing. He was more of assisting to his strikers, Samuel Eto'o at the time, Lionel Messi as well, Zlatan Ibrahimovic for a slight period of time back then. Set piece taken 77, he wasn't really the free kick taker, but he can score from free kicks as well for you. Curl 85, and then speed and acceleration. If you train him to the max, I think you'll be content with the speed and acceleration for the center midfielder. It's more than enough. Kicking power 81, don't expect scoring bangers outside of the box with him, although if you're using curl or finesse shots you can do that. Physical contact only 78, although in this game it's funny that in PES Mobile some players which you don't really expect to be really physical, they're great in terms of like standing up for themselves and trying to bump into other players, not falling down. And then of course balance 96, this is really important. When you're making a skill move, of course, your Iniesta will most likely evade all the tackles, and if tackled he can be still with the ball, so it's really important to have that one. Stamina is 89, I don't really care about him being really exhausted by the end of the game. Usually he has still some stamina by the end of the game. If you're playing him full game, you don't really care about substituting him as well. And these are the stats. Of course, for the weak foot, he's not really using that often, and conditioning is 5, it's more than enough. I think he's oftentimes getting either yellow or green arrow. And then for the skills, unfortunately, of course, if you're owning or if you have seen the stats of Iconic Moment Iniesta, he has the double touch skill, which I think is probably the skill that Iniesta in real life most known for. He uses that very often, and for some reason Konami is giving him only martial turn for the legend card. It's all good. If you have enough of skill tokens, use him on Iniesta, train Iniesta up until the point when you teach him how to do the double touch for the classic legend. If you have iconic moment legend, you're of course more lucky in that regard. And then of course you have cut behind and turn. I don't use that skill very often. One touch pass is really useful when you're trying to play 1-2 passes with your midfield. It's really useful because in some instances Iniesta wasn't even facing the player he was meaning to give a pass, and he still managed to assist my forward, which in some occasion was my brand new legend Michael Owen. And this skill is really useful to have with Iniesta, of course, and through passing, weighted pass, everything that complements his playstyle, pinpoint crossing, everything that you need to assist your forward. And then of course outside curler, gamesmanship is of course yet another skill that I trained on him. This means that every time someone tries to tackle Iniesta, there's higher chance of him getting a free kick in dangerous position. And captaincy, obviously if you have him as your captain, your entire squad gets insignificant boosts that nobody notices probably in this game. And here's the interesting thing, his playstyle is whole player, which of course is activated pretty much everywhere on the pitch, in the middle of the park. So depending on how you like to play your team, if you have a whole player, he will be oftentimes making runs into opposition areas when your team is attacking or when your team has just gotten the ball back. So having him as an attacking midfielder will always prompt him into the opponent's box. Or of course, if you don't mind, really don't mind him going forward, you can play him like that and he will be moving forward. But then don't expect him to be swiftly getting back and helping out in defense, because that is the trait of whole player. He will be helping out in the attack, he will lose the ball, or anyone else in the attack will lose the ball, lose the possession, and you'll be really susceptible to counterattacks, and that is a real downside for the whole players overall. And of course, Andres Iniesta, for me, he scored a few bangers, he assisted a lot of times, he scored a few free kicks, although he's not the free kick taker. He probably there's in your team there are people like Beckham or I know Pavel Nedved for me in this team who can take better free kicks. Nonetheless, he can take free kicks for you as well. He's great passer, awesome on the ball. I think he is really similar to Leo Messi in terms of like how his player model is animated in this game. It is really easy to make skills with him. I only wish that he had double touch as a legend card, but it's all good. Maybe eventually I'll be trained double touch on him. I think that is a great legend. I think you guys should try him out if you have a chance to pull him. If there will be any packs for GP or whatever, go for him. I really enjoyed playing with him. And here is a small excerpt from my live stream where I played with Iniesta for the first time. These are my first impressions. Now that great ball. Can Owen shoot? What a shot. It's a bummer that I didn't direct it to the corner a little bit. It's a great save by Ter Stegen, by the way, so... Nedved? Oh, no, 5%. Yes, I forgot about that completely. So this will be definitely the last game. If anything, if I'll not be disconnecting. I need to connect my tablet to the charger. Thank you very much. I need to score that one. Thank you very much. That's a beautiful Pogger goal. I'll connect it to the charger. Give me a second so that I don't get disconnected straight away.
Good evening.
Great pass, by the way, from Iniesta. I need to say that Iniesta is finding those spaces, and so far he has been prolific for me in the attacking midfielder position, where probably a lot of you guys can play him and are playing him if you have already pulled him. So I just don't like when my central midfielders are weak. I think central midfielders should be able to defend, and since Iniesta can defend, I decided to put him in this attacking midfielder position where he's kinda oh, that was dangerous. Where he's kinda relieved of all these defensive duties and where I can feel more free to create scoring opportunities. What? Casillas just decided to... You know what? I'm not... That's ridiculous. Very laggy gameplay, but I'm trying to go through. Well, if you want tiki-taka football, then here you go, man. And go over the entire game, so maybe it's better to use him as a substitutions. Oops. Tried to something cheeky with Iniesta, it didn't happen. Own stamina is 85, but still he gets tired really much faster than any other player in my squad. So played against the team called Tiki Taka. I think we completely destroyed him in terms of like chances. His shots on goal were weak. His only goal he scored was ridiculous that Casillas just was standing and watching that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!